When I started this channel, I really had no idea where it was going to go or what it was going to do, but I wanted it to be a bit more about kind of a path to recovery, a roadway that other people could take bits off to move forward. The first two videos I did really affected me a lot more than I thought they were going to, thus there's been this big break in uploading anything to this channel. And this video itself I really didn't want to make, and I've been avoiding it because, as I say, I really wanted this to be a lot more positive, but this one isn't. Right now the dogs are at the door relatively badly to a point where it's affecting my daily function. One thing that I have now that I didn't have when my kind of like in the hole was worse than it is now is I have this separation where at least I can take a step back and I can see everything that's going on and know it's not real. And that's really, it's been probably the biggest thing that's kept me a lot more functional than I was before when I was, having big problems. Even in the midst of all this, I've tried to see what I could take from it, or what I can take from it, to move forward when it hopefully ends. And that has been a realization that I need someone. I have a need. My go-to has been myself, to a huge fault, to a huge dysfunctional fault. Push everybody else away, only rely on myself because I think I'm the only one that's going to stick around. And without that person being here right now, everything's fine, don't worry about it. There's nothing happening on that front. I realise how much I miss her and can't wait for her to get back. And I think that's the first step for me to actually a real back and forth, deep relationship, that I've never really figured out how to do before now. Because I've always been way too self-reliant, way too don't let anybody in. So now for me, in this position, I've come to the conclusion that I have to take it back. With the other channel, I've been working really hard. Probably a big contributory factor to this is the fact that can't really go out, can't really socialize. Anything that I need for the builds on my other channel is taking so long to come that it's just, really affecting me. And also, me and my entire family is just welded together 24/7. And that's interesting, and has its good parts and bad parts, to be honest with you. So right now I am taking that step back. So one thing that I've always harped on about is this: pat yourself on the back for something good you did, even if it's just a step. If you're in bed, you don't feel like getting out of bed, you literally swing your feet around, put your feet on the floor, stand up, you progressed. And you have to congratulate yourself for that, because for me personally, that's led on. That's fueled me to the next rung of the ladder. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to clean the garage, because it's a mess. And that's affecting me as well, My tools are everywhere, there's aluminum disc dust all over the floor and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to get that done today, so that at least when I walk in, it's pleasant, there's space to move, it's organized, and I can move forward as efficiently as this will let me. So it's really, I go between the dogs being at the door and being on the ropes, because one means you're separated from it, and one means you're in the ropes with the bad stuff and it's smacking you in the head. And I go in between those two. Obviously, the more constructive one is having some separation and the door between me and the bad stuff. And this happened quick. This was falling off a cliff quick. I was obviously day-to-day stresses you have to deal with, and you have ups and downs, which are up here, what was feeling like what a normal person would feel like. Ups and downs up here in a functional, 100% functional range. And that was, I was probably at the lower end of that. And then literally just fell off a cliff. Not changed anything else, I think, as I say, the whole quarantine thing has come to a head to a degree. So I definitely need to just look at that. I was probably turning a blind eye to things that were starting to affect me, but I didn't want to deal with them. And obviously they built up and pushed me off the end of the cliff. So it's managing that, for me, it's managing this new situation, different situations. I found out that my job, which I was laid off from on March 16th, spoke to somebody, and it's probably not going to come back. Now, for various reasons, more of a time thing. The place is going to open again, but it's going to be a while, maybe even after the reopening of the world. And it wasn't a great job, but it was familiar, easy, and served a purpose. And that box was ticked. The box of my life and my progress forward in life was ticked. That box just became unticked. And now I've got to go into something new, unfamiliar, and all the rest of it, which is no big deal on its face, but it's something extra. So that obviously had an effect as well. Again, I go back to this patting myself on the back for doing something. At some point today, I'm going to go in the garage and I'm going to clean it. To whatever degree it gets cleaned, who knows? But even if I put one spanner away, one wrench away, it's something. It's more than happened if I hadn't have done anything. And that's positive. That's a move forward. One thing that Wivetastic came up with, I think it's on the Nathan's Garage Teespring account, it's like the slogan, don't give up, build up. And that feels really apt right now. Because if you give up, then you're static, or moving backwards, who knows? And I'm not saying everybody is in a position where they cannot give up. I don't want to be presumptuous over anybody else's position, condition, management of it, or anything like that. Like I say, I'm not a healthcare professional. This is purely just me doing a rolling diary of my ups and downs. For me, this moving forward is important, however small that forward is. That's it, really. Something to get this out there and show, that the other channel, Nathan's Garage, it's a bit tits and teeth, as is said in British kind of cabaret sort of thing. It's like, I think that's it. Okay, well, hopefully the next one is going to be more positive. Thanks for watching. See you next time.